Hey guys, what's going on? I just wanted to give a quick Bitcoin update and some buy, sell, hold, rapid fire altcoin analysis from the updated quantitative model tonight. Really, I was motivated because I'm seeing a bunch of bulls and bears posting a bunch of stuff about Bitcoin tonight, especially. And I think they're overcomplicating it and really over dramatizing it a little bit. I think if you look at the data, it's pretty clear that we're in basically a fairly neutral market now. It's fairly ranging, and the 7,000 seem kind of right in the middle of that range. But one thing we see a lot of right now is this descending triangle, starting in February, leading to today. And a couple things. One, people say, we're not making, higher highs, which is obviously true. That's a descending triangle. In terms of lows, it's basically flat. Statistically, we've been hitting the exact same low for the past 7, 8 months now. But in terms of higher highs, I mean, the reality is, if you look at the data from December, November of last year, we had such a huge move that it stands to reason we're not going to keep making higher highs, even after the pullback. So that's in itself is not even much of an alarm to me. Uh, but most importantly, given I'm such a data centric guy, there's not a whole ton of evidence right now that a descending triangle such as this actually means anything in the future. I mean, the reality is, yeah, it hit a couple times, but that doesn't mean anything necessarily going forward. I'd much rather dive straight into the data. So uh, I'd like to kind of present some stuff that gives you my viewpoint, why we're in a ranging market, why this is actually a neutral market right now. I'm actually very bullish in the fourth quarter. I think there's a lot of good fundamental stuff, and we're going to pop out of this. But right now we've been firmly ranging the past 7, 8 months, and here is why. So right here, I just grabbed some basic data from Bitcoin. So daily returns going back to the early February. And I am definitely calling February 4th and 5th capitulation. You see a negative 10% return on February 4th, negative 16% return on February 5th. Since that day, we've had 212 days. Well, February 4th was the 208th returning day, and February 5th was the 212th returning day. If that's not definition of capitulation, I don't really know what is. If you see February 6th, it's the second best returning day. So clearly a big bounce back there. You can see that on the chart too. So that certainly qualifies as capitulation. But people have been saying, okay, we're still in the bear market, especially, and we, obviously altcoins have been bleeding, but in terms of Bitcoin, are we actually still in a bear market? Like I said, I would certainly argue more of a neutral ranging market. So since capitulation, February 4th, and I'm actually including the 4th and 5th, so 2 big down days, we've actually had, of the 212 total days, more positive days than negative days. So 53% of our days have been positive, 46% have been negative. So that's not necessarily what I would consider a bear market. In terms of kind of the bigger days, greater than 3% or negative, less than negative 3%, basically 18, 19, 20% on both sides. So very equal there. And in terms of even bigger days, 6% up or negative 6% down, basically 7% both ways. And that, again, includes February 4th and 5th. So you can certainly even make the case they're even more equal. So the reality there is it's firmly neutral. If you look at the data, the positive, negative days basically wash out. We've been ranging from 6,000 to 8,000, 9,000 and back again, over and over again. I mean, that's just the definition of ranging. So what is it going to do over the next day or two? I mean, that's kind of largely irrelevant, to be honest with you. Like I mentioned before, I think the fourth quarter is going to be pretty big. Right now, we're right in the middle of the range. So if you're bullish in the fourth quarter, it's obviously a good buying opportunity. If you're not and you're just playing this range, well, you should honestly, it's we're right in the middle of the range. So it's not a really a long-term, at least say neutral market support or resistance right here. So, that's that. My very boring Bitcoin update, no drama here. In terms of coins, kind of rapid fire with the model likes right now. You have stuff like Nexus is a huge buy here. Syscoin as well. You have PIVX is also a big buy. Metal here. Deep Brain Chain. AION, Ripple. I can't call it XRP. That just kind of goes against my nature. Litecoin is still good. Mithril and even Ethereum, kind of rounding up the kind of 15th percentile, is still pretty solid, mainly because Ether is a lower risk altcoin. What else do we got here that might be a decent buy? You have Polymath is still pretty solid. Tron is actually creeping up there too. Qtum is up there as well. And Dent had a big pump like a week ago, kind of faded in the model. Now it's coming back. It's one of those low SAT coins. What about what the model does not like? So I'll kind of go into the dark red, and you will see clearly here you got a lot of the hyper pumped coins recently. You have Hot, Dodge, even Monero was recently kind of pumped today. Nano pumped, call it like a week ago. The model has kind of been negative ever since, which has been right on. Ethereum Classic kind of pumped a little bit yesterday. It kind of faded a little bit. The model still doesn't like it. So still, it's very negative on coins that pumped a lot recently. Thinking they're gonna fade back a little bit. But also things like even Hot, very risky coin. Primarily, it's a low SAT coin too, so it can bounce around pretty quick. And risky coins generally do not perform too well in the long run. What else we got here? I think we got Walton Chain is still down in the bottom 10%. Redcoin, that's a kind of favorite cult coin as well. Chainlink, that's an interesting one. I think the fundamental is very strong. So, I wouldn't necessarily. I could see holding that in a long-term bag. And I think that'll wrap it up. I'll keep this one short, even though I did a 90-minute video earlier today. So you guys have a great day or great night or great morning, wherever you are. Take care. Thanks. Bye.